Hello ladies and gentlemen, Tevaron here, and welcome to some more Eternal gameplay. This time with something a bit different, as you can see. I mentioned in a couple of videos recently that I wanted to try the new Tomorrow ramp deck. Well, after testing with it, I came to the conclusion that the actual card New Tomorrow wasn't needed in the deck. When you cast it, it was actually just win more. You generally get to enough power to do exactly what you're wanting to do without it, so why not free up that slot for other things? And this is the list that I am running currently to moderate success. Let's just go ahead and try to break this down. There's a lot of things going on with this deck. You may notice that we've got a lot of one-ofs. That is because it's sort of a Celestial Omen tutor package. We try to do low-cost one-ofs so that we can Celestial Omen at fast speed and get exactly what we need at the opportune moment. The first of that package is Excavate. 1 cost, put a card from your void on top of your deck. You gain 2 health. Excavate, can't leave the void. This lets us buy back some of our sweepers, Harsh Rule, if we need to deal more damage and draw some more cards, Channel the Tempest, just lots of different things. A one-of Permafrost, so that we have a very low-cost removal spell that we can Celestial Omen for. For Seek Power, this is a 3-color deck with a lot of faction requirements in several different colors, so this is very necessary, also to make sure that we make our power drops. 3, Desert Marshal, as an ambush blocker to silence troublesome things, especially those with Aegis, so that we can actually kill them. 1, Disjunction, serves dual purpose. We can return one of our own attachments from the void or kill an enemy attachment. In general, when I first started playtesting this, I was having a lot of trouble against Armory, but by adding a few different things in, I've kind of improved that matchup. I don't know that it's entirely favorable for us now, but it is a lot better than it used to be. 2, Find the Way, again, for making our power drops and fixing our faction. 3, Lightning Storm, as a nod to aggro. Aggro is absolutely our worst matchup, especially Skycrag. We definitely need sweepers and removal early to have a chance versus that, and hence we have Lightning Storm. Also 2, Lightning Strike. This is great for removing creatures and is also one of the cards that we added to help us deal with Armory. We can Lightning Strike them to destroy one of their relic weapons when they're trying to attack us. 4, Strategize. Just card draw and filtering, allowing us to put what we don't actually need on the bottom of our deck. 1, Unseal, again part of the Celestial Omen tutor package. Negate an enemy spell or curse for 2 cost. 2, Vanquish, kill a unit with 4 power or more. Kind of a split between the Vanquishes and Island's Choice, since they kind of do the same thing, except Island's Choice is slightly more versatile, allowing us to negate an enemy spell with cost 4 or more as well. 4, Wisdom of the Elders, don't think we need to talk too much about that. Lumen Reclaimer. Those of you that watched the last video where we were running Skycrag will remember Lumen Reclaimer, because it did a lot of work against us, and it's also been very good for me since I've added it to the deck and been testing with it. A 4-cost 4/4. When we summon it, shuffle a void of your choice into its owner's deck. Usually we'll want to do ours, but against reanimation strategies or strategies that care about what's in the graveyard, like the Scrap Tank deck, we will want to shuffle theirs in, especially versus the Scrap Tank deck, putting a bunch of 1/1 Grenadins into their deck to where they're just drawing 1-cost 1/1s hampers them immensely. 1 of the Great Parliament. 4 cost, play a 4/4 Owl with flying for every 4 maximum power you have. One of our finishers, as well as early blockers. We can always get most of this stuff back, especially with the Lumen Reclaimer, just allowing us to shuffle action back into our deck, and late game we'll have filtered out a lot of our power, so we'll be just drawing gas upon gas upon gas. 4, Harsh Rule to keep ourselves alive. 3, Stronghold's Visage, a 5-cost relic. At the start of our turn, we'll gain 1 health and 1 armor. This also serves to help us mitigate damage, as well as providing us an armor buffer for one of our win conditions as Sword of the Sky King. 2, Celestial Omen, we've already went over that. 3, Channel the Tempest, 8 cost, draw 3 cards, then deal damage equal to the number of cards in your hand. We can do this to a unit or to the enemy's face. Sword of the Sky King, we've already mentioned. 8 cost, 8/8 relic weapon. 2 Temporal Distortion, which is kind of the namesake card of the deck. An 8 cost relic. Your spells are fast. At the start of the enemy turn, replenish your power, so we can completely exhaust all of our power on our turn. Then when we go to our opponent's turn, all of our power is available again, and we can cast all of these super powerful spells, Harsh Rule, Channel the Tempest, just at instant speed and wreck our opponent. A 1 of Scourge of Frostholm. This is kind of tech against mirror matches or other controlling decks. A 10 cost 8/8, and the enemy player can't play spells. Now, do be aware that this can be silenced by effects such as Desert Marshal or Valkyrie Enforcer and allow them to play spells again, but for the most part, it's very difficult for spell-based decks to deal with. And finally, Aid of the Huru, a 12 cost spell, stun each enemy unit, play 2 4/4 owls with flying, draw 4 cards, and gain 4 armor. This card can bring you back from absolutely horrible deficits. It just gives you a ton of resources and generally swings the game in your favor or just seals up a victory for you. Our power base is off the screen, but we're going to go through it. 3 Time Sigils, 2 Justice Sigils, 2 Primal Sigils, 1 Cobalt Waystone for the occasional Aegis it can provide, a Crest of Impulse, and this may strike you as weird, but we're running 2 off-color crests. This one is kind of taking the place of a Time Sigil, providing us with Time faction, but the Scry is incredibly important in this deck. 4 Seed of Progress, 4 Crest of Wisdom, our on-color Scry, 4 Seed of Wisdom, 4 Seed of Order, and another off-color crest, a Crest of Fury, giving us Primal and allowing us an additional Scry. I know this looks like a jumbled mess, and it kind of is, but it is also incredible fun when it actually works, which is honestly a bit more often than you would imagine, and hopefully we can demonstrate that. Been having a lot of fun with this deck. This deck is much more my preferred speed of what to be playing. This is actually pretty keepable. We're going to go ahead and snap it off. We've got Strategize. We've got also the Primal to go ahead and play both of our Wisdom of the Elders. What we're really lacking in this hand is just some more power to get to Harsh Rule. We even have the faction available to cast it. We'll lead off with one of our seats and pass. Alright, looks like we're up against Feln. Most of the Feln decks these days have been more mid-rangey and less pure control. We're going to go ahead and Strategize. Draw 2, put 1 on the bottom. And what we're going to put on the bottom is, I'm not sure. Probably a Channel the Tempest at this point, since it's quite a few turns before we're going to be able to cast that. Alright, another seat. That is excellent. And we are going to pass. We want to cast Wisdom of the Elders this turn instead of Seek Power. We have power drops for the next 2 turns. Well, a Wisdom from the opponent. Alright, Seek Power. Don't know if that means that they lacked a power to drop or if they just wanted to get a certain faction there. We're going to cast Wisdom. Another Harsh Rule, Temporal Distortion. That is good. Now we are going to Seek Power. We're going to get our 4th Primal so that we can make sure to be able to cast our Channel the Tempest when we redraw one. We've already got enough faction for our Temporal Distortion, and for our Harsh Rule, we're pretty well set up to cast whatever in the deck. All we need is the actual power in play to get it out there. Just kind of staring across at the opponent, which is fine with us. The longer it takes them to start actually dealing damage, the better. Sure. And we'll Wisdom again. Just want to make our power drops every turn. Alright, we're going to Seek Power first. We'll just get our last Primal Sigil, that's fine. We're going to play our Crest to Scry. Cobalt Waystone. As much as I would like to have an Aegis, I think we put that on the bottom. And we're going to go ahead and strategize as well. Unseal is good. I think at this point we're going to put a Justice Sigil on the bottom. Alright, strategize from the opponent as well. So our opponent here may be on one of the more controlling Feln builds, since they're not putting any pressure on the board as of yet. Alright, we are getting Vara's favored into the ground. Stronghold Visage. We are definitely going to play that. I'm sandbagging our second Justice, just so they may think we don't have the ability to play Harsh Rule. That will help us just build up armor and our health over time, as long as the opponent wants to sit back and let us do that. Alright, Champion of Cunning. Alright, it does have an Aegis. Thankfully, though, we have the ability to deal with that. We're just going to pass here. And we will silence it to pop that Aegis. And then Island's Choice.
You don't want to make my allies your enemies.
Next turn, we get to play our Temporal Distortion. Alright, Black Sky Harbinger. I'm not really worried about that at the moment. What I want to do is get our Distortion in play, and then our power will replenish on our opponent's turn. Now we can cast all these Harsh Rules and whatnot on our opponent's turn. We'll take this. After we get our second Visage out, then they actually won't be dealing damage, but they have a Vara there, which is a little unfortunate for us. Yeah, I think I'm going to Harsh Rule at the end of our opponent's turn here. That'll get rid of these two and pop this Aegis. Celestial Omen is interesting. We can go for something. For right now, though, I'm going to play our Stronghold's Visage and end our turn. We have Island's Choice to kill this, as well as Unseal if they have an answer for the Island's Choice.
You don't want to make my allies your enemies.
Alright, Extract. Not really worried about that. With our double Stronghold Visage, we are in great shape. Gaining essentially 4 life a turn. Alright, Crest of Wisdom. Well, I want to Celestial Omen first. And I want to get a Channel the Tempest. Then we'll play this Crest and Scout. Excavate. Actually, sure. We'll go ahead and draw that Excavate and pass the turn. Now, the Excavate there will allow us to channel, then Excavate, channel, and channel again. Yeah, that's fine. I don't really care about this. It's not doing enough damage to actually do anything to us. We're going to channel their face. Alright, that's great. Let's go ahead and Excavate. Or attempt to. They have a fast spell. Go ahead and get Channel again. And we will channel their face again. Ooh, that is spicy there. Let's go ahead and play out our seat. We also have our Sword of the Sky King, which is a little ridiculous at the moment, as much as we're building armor. Yep, no blocks. Alright, we'll just start our turn. We will play our seat, play our sword, and kill that thing. Seal with power to unseal on our turn if they have something fast, and then everything replenishes come their turn. Yeah, draw 2 cards, that's fine. And then between the sword and the scourge, we should pretty much have this game put away. And they think so too, even though they didn't see the scourge. Alrighty then. I think this is fine. It's a little slow. I would much rather that this channel was one of our lower cost draw spells. And yeah, the second one for sure. We're going to start off with our crest to scout. Bottom, we do not want that. We want power, please. A sigil of any sort would be awesome to allow us to play our stuff undepleted. Looks like we may be up against a mirror here. Alright, we didn't get exactly what we wanted, but no big deal as of yet. If this is the mirror, then we've got time to establish ourselves. Permafrost is not what we're looking for. And now we desperately need to draw more power, as in these control-y mirrors, the one who stumbles on making power drops generally loses. And unfortunately, it seems like that's going to be us. Oh, maybe it's not exactly a mirror. Of course, this deck has slots that are very flexible. They definitely could just be running Runehammer in this deck, or it could be something else entirely. Let's stop that, please. Yep, strategize. I would like to draw a strategize or Wisdom of the Elders of my very own. Please, deck. Either one of those would be very welcome here. Ooh, Moondial. Okay. I have seen lists running that. I believe Lights Out Aces build runs a Moondial. Let's cast both of our Find the Ways here. We want to get Primal. And that will guarantee we can cast these channels. Then we're going to play this Crest for the Scout. And I don't think we want to seek power. We now have power drops to make, so we're in good shape as far as that goes. Now we just want stuff that does stuff, and this Moondial may actually put the game out of our reach, in all honesty. We don't actually have a lot of stuff to shuffle back in, but this is a threat they have to answer. It would be very unfortunate if they silenced it and then killed it. But I think we're going to do this and shuffle our Void back in. Since we kind of stumbled in the early game, we've got to try to be a bit of the aggressor. That may work out, it may not. But it is the path that has been presented to us. Opponent appears to be having some trouble deciding what to put on the bottom of their library. I know exactly how that feels. Runehammer, sure, kill this thing. Please, shuffle 4 into our deck. Thank you very much. Great Parliament, that's pretty good. I think we want to go ahead and cast it because we'll have the power to channel the Tempest next turn, and we'll want to do that. So even though this is only for 1 and next turn it could be for 2, I'm going to go ahead and cast it. We've got more Lumen Reclaimers to shuffle our one of Great Parliament back into our deck at some point. This also eats up that Runehammer. Stronghold's Visage, that's fine. No, yeah, I'm not particularly happy about it, but I'm not super bothered by it either. Alright, Crest. Normally I'd want to play that, but right now I just want to channel the Tempest my opponent's face. And hopefully draw into some gas. And Find the Way's not exactly gas. We got a Stronghold Visage of our own. What to discard? I think we're going to discard a Harsh Rule. Card that's least likely to be useful to us, especially since we have 2 more in hand. Alright, Distortion. That is unfortunate. That puts our opponent at a distinct advantage here. Let's Crest. Bottom. However, if they don't have an answer, I'm pretty sure we win. They could have Island's Choice or Unseal or Negate. Or Backlash, rather. Any of the negating effects. Wisdom? So they're trying to draw one, apparently. Well, better to be lucky than good. Alright, took a bit of time to find us a match that time, but here we are up against rank 2, so that's cool. This hand, however, is not. Well, that's a bit better. Yes, good evening to you as well. At least we got some faction fixing. Let's lead off with a scout. Sure, I'll take that for now. So we'll want to be going for Justice, at least with the first of these, maybe with the second as well. Let's play Primal Sigil. We're going to go ahead and find the way for a Justice. Looks like our opponent's on Feln of some ilk. Lightning Storm, not super useful, though it's great for popping Aegises. Let's play our depleted power and cast our other Find the Way for... Yeah, you know what? We might as well go ahead and just get our second Justice and have it over with. We do have a card in hand that requires 2 Justice already. We can try to get to our triple time a bit later. And there's one to help us out. However, we're going to play this depleted one. We're going to go ahead and seek power for our other Primal. That way this Cobalt, when we play it, will go ahead and give us an Aegis, which will help protect us from sabotage from the opponent if they're running that. Right, again, not super worried about Steward of the Past. It's not a fast enough clock on its own. None of these are depleted, if I could speak, so we're just going to play out our Primal and pass. Yeah, we'll take 3 here, and we don't really have much of a choice. Alright, strategize. Again, we're always happy when our opponent takes time to set up, because it always takes us time to set up. And the more time they give us, the easier we have of getting our stuff online. Sadly, they hit a sabotage before we get our Aegis up. So I imagine they'll take either the sword or the distortion. Yep, the sword. That is what Excavate and Disjunction and Lumen Reclaimer are for, to get that bad boy back. If we actually get to that point. I'm going to play this instead of our Scout, just to try to protect us from a further sabotage. The Scout is certainly very valuable, but also is keeping our Temporal Distortion in our hand. Well, the Vara's Favor pops that, so they may actually have another sabotage here, just going ahead and firing it off to plan for later. Let's go ahead and crest. Seat of Order, do we want you? Actually, yes. We want to get up to 10 to play our Scourge, so that's fine. We're going to pass here. Next turn, we can play our Temporal Distortion, as long as it doesn't get ripped from our hand. Our opponent does know that we have it, so they do have the knowledge that if we have an undepleted power, we can deploy it next turn. Well, it has to be a time power, since we don't have triple time. But it looks like that's not going to happen. Let's go ahead and draw some cards. Island's Choice is fine. Second Lightning Storm, less so. We need to play our Time Sigil, play our Temporal Distortion. Now we're a bit better set up. We do eventually need to deal with this before it kills us, but it's a fairly slow clock. No blocks. Alright, Champion of Cunning. I think we're going to Lightning Storm to pop that Aegis. And go ahead and vanquish it as well. Stronghold Visage, excellent for us. Let's play that out and start healing a bit. Slowing this clock down even further, especially now that this is up to a 5-5, which I think we're just going to kill, to be honest. It's a bit too much damage now.
You don't want to make my allies your enemies.
Okay, Black Sky Harbinger, sure. Seek Power. Really wish that was just an actual power so we could play Scourge, but we don't really have that luxury, so we do what we have to. We'll pass back. So we're essentially taking 1 damage a turn now because of our Stronghold Visage. Go to our turn. Celestial Omen is great. Let's play out our Scourge to shut down, hopefully, all of the enemy's hand. Very much hope they don't have a Death Touch thing to play here. Yep, no blocks. Vara, that is a bit sad. So, let's Celestial Omen, shall we? Kind of makes me want to go for Harsh Rule, even though that's going to kill our Scourge. We don't have enough power to play 8 of the Huru, so yeah, I think we have to go for Harsh Rule here. Where was it at? There it is. We'll grab that. We'll pop the Aegis. Kind of want to silence one of these before we Harsh Rule, but this also can pop future Aegises, so we're going to see if the opponent will let us get 8 damage in here before we wipe the board. And no, they know what's coming. Hopefully they don't have second Vara in hand. That would be very unfortunate, especially since they have 6 cards and we have 1. Alright, nothing. That's exactly what we want. Can't afford to really sandbag this. We do have a 12-cost card that we could draw at any minute, and we will want to cast it when we do. Strategize, sure. Channel the Tempest would be great. Even though it wouldn't do damage, we would draw 3 cards, and it would pop that Aegis, so... Ah, there we go. Gotta ask for what you want. Sometimes you're given what you ask for. Excellent. We'll go ahead and Wisdom. And we'll play out that seat and pass. I mean, we didn't get a whole lot of gas here, but they are cards that do things, so we could have situations where they will be useful. Strategize, great. Let's just draw all the cards, please. I will put Lightning Storm on the bottom. And I am going to Disjunction for our sword. And we're going to attempt to get the opponent dead before they get anything else going. This card is particularly difficult for Feln to deal with, as you witness there by the opponent scooping. Alright. This is not a great hand. Against aggro, though, it's quite good, so we're going to go ahead and keep it. And against a slower deck, we should have time to draw into our other things that are good in those matchups. Alright, we'll just lead off with one of these seats. Alright, showing Stone Scar so far. Let's play our opposite seat and pass. Could be a Stone Scar aggro deck, a Stone Scar mid-range deck. The more combo-y controlling scrap tank deck looks like they are aggressive. Well, we have kept a decent hand versus this then. Let's go ahead and... no, we're not going to bother silencing. We're going to just go ahead and Lightning Storm since they do have 3 things out we can kill. Then pass back. Stronghold's Visage is also really good here. Alright. Instigator, that's fine. Oni Ronin, that's fine as well. We are going to play a time. We're going to go ahead and silence this Ronin to stop their war cry from getting out of hand. Might not have been worth it. I mean, we do have Harsh Rule coming next turn, but this also might incentivize them to overextend. And we definitely wanted to do it on our turn if our goal was to prevent Warcry, because we can't really do that if we wait till their turn. We'll block here. Yeah, that was a very bad play there. If they wanted us not to block, they should have torched before they attacked. But we did get them to cast another creature, and so we are going to go ahead and Harsh Rule. Next turn, barring drawing a card we'd rather play, we're going to Seek Power into Stronghold's Visage. Alright, Champion of Chaos. Celestial Omen is perfectly fine as well. Let's Seek Power, get our 4th Primal. Stronghold's Visage to slow down the damage. So we have the ability to Celestial Omen for a sweeper, which is probably what we're going to do since they played out another unit there. We'll play our Primal and pass. Celestial Omen is fast, so we want to play it on their turn when they have less idea of what we're actually planning to do. Okay, Grenadin from the Waystone. Yep, no blocks. We are low life despite 2 board wipes. And so you see why these aggressive decks are a lot harder for us to deal with than the mid-range and controlling matchups. Celestial Omen for Harsh Rule. And we'll cast it, lay out our seat, and pass back. Now we just need to start drawing our big stuff. Channel the Tempest, Temporal Distortion, Sword of the Sky King. Disjunction, not really what we're looking for. Let's go ahead and Wisdom. There, that's pretty good. We are going to take 6. Should be okay, I think. Hopefully this is nothing in their hand. Right, let's kill that thing. Our Stronghold's Visage, helping us to keep this alive. Hoping they don't have an Obliterate. That will definitely get rid of this, but we do have Disjunction to get it back. There's Obliterate, sure. Prevented a lot of damage there, though. Excavate also works. So that's what I'm going to use, since we don't have the actual power to cast this and the sword in the same turn. We did lose our armor when our weapon dies. That's the way that it works, but it has extra armor to give us now when we get it back, which we're going to do and gain some life in the process. And that should be the game. I don't think they can really come back from this. Alright, Alright, Vara's favor, sure. Yep. Start hitting the opponent's face. An honorable fight, friend. Apparently they're not scooping, though, even though that emote there would have given me the idea that they were. Hit them again. And unless they have some resistance, they are dead next turn. Yeah, they have had enough. Alrighty then. Well, ending this session in rank 3. Feels pretty good. What does our chest give us? Privilege of rank? Kind of fitting, wouldn't you say? I jest. I don't really care about rank that much, though it is nice to be highly ranked. Gives one a sense of accomplishment, if you will. Anyway, there is the deck list again. Scroll over and see the rest of our power cards there. There will be a link in the description to a deck list that I'll have up on eternalwarcry.com where you can export it and import it into your client if you want to, or just look at it in a way that's a little bit easier to parse than this way that the client does, especially with this many cards. And for those of you that do want to play this, I wish you lots of luck and tons of fun. Thank you so much for watching. I do hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, let me know in the comments and by leaving a like below. And of course, subscribe if you'd like to see more in the future. I have been Tevaron, and until next time, friends, be excellent to each other.